Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Phoenix Rising Oracles. I'm so excited to have you here today. So today's reading is particularly for the those of us in the collective that identify as light workers. It's been an interesting time for me during my own personal journey, and I had the most amazing things. Happen to me in just the last week. Things from my past that have circled right back to me in ways that I would have never imagined. And for quite some time, I've just been feeling that there's been a lot of turmoil all over the world, across the collective, right? And I think for those particularly that identify as light workers, I just felt like there was a message that needed to come through from spirit. So light workers are those, some would consider, if you've been called an old soul, perhaps you've got certain qualities around that. But in its essence, it's someone that tries to live a life full of passion and purpose, particularly focused on being of service to others. One way that I can describe it is, for example, where I saw a lot of my kind of light worker qualities shine through the most was working in an incredibly toxic work environment where you could just see the pain and agony on people's faces being there every day just because of everything that was happening within that space. And I decided after a while, and after it all really got to me, I just decided that I will come in here and I will be the light every day, and I will be the person that will bring love and light into this environment. And the gratitude that I had received, the beautiful blessings that I had received just out of the friendships I developed, and the beautiful messages when I left about how I had helped people remain positive on days when they didn't think that they could. That's really where I saw the effect of it. So whatever is happening right now in your situation, please remember this is a general reading for those who identify as a light worker or a starseed within the collective. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw kind of one or two cards here, and this will be just to give us a quick overview of the current situation. I'll then take a look at some of the archetypal themes that some of the light workers might be dealing with. Okay. So 10 of Wands in its upright position speaks about having a lot of burden and having a lot to carry. I feel that the light workers in the collective, I think, it is this time of the year where everybody is tired and everybody's been working hard and, looking forward to just having, a little bit of kind of festive time for love and family and all of that, if that's, something that if that is the way that you choose to celebrate it. But by the end of the year, everybody is always super tired, right? But I do feel that for those who are light workers that have been trying to help others wake up from these societal norms and these expectations that either society or bosses or family or generational just archaic ways of thinking have put on us. I feel like those burdens have become so much more and more, especially for those who do identify as light workers. Remember that for anyone that lives a life based out of fear, they have massive resistance to change. And one of the big important things about being a light worker is that you actually help those, you gently shine your light onto those through love and help them believe in trusting the change, because those who live from a place of fear have difficulty trusting change. They never change. I'm sure that if you would have seen that, you would have tried to help many people. I mean, we had a friend that I try to help him so many times to try and look at the qualities that he has within his professional career, and that he is worth so much more than where he is at now. But at the end of the day, it's still that up to that person to make that decision. At the end of the day, they still need to make the decision to face that fear of change for themselves. And you know how it works. When we don't learn the lesson, we're going to keep going through that repetitive cycle, and we're going to keep staying in a state of burden until we say, okay, what is the lesson? How do we actually release all of this? We embrace whatever is happening, and we let go of the burden. So 10 of Wands really is about having burdens, obligations. It also is a symbol, it also symbolizes completion. So when we look at it reversed, it symbolizes a sense of lightheartedness, that obligations have been lifted, that there's a sense of freedom. And I think that for many of the light workers here today that have joined, I think that you've been carrying many burdens, whether it be your own, the burdens of others. I mean, we all have our own burdens, but I feel perhaps some of you have also come through a new series of awakening where you've realized that you've been carrying so many burdens, combination of your own and the decisions that you've made, but also burdens from others. And beautiful light workers out there, this is exactly why I wanted to do this reading, because I wanted to share messages that are going to help you get through these next few days and weeks with the courage and strength that you all know that you have inside of you. These burdens are lifting, they are lifting. And when we look at the devil card, so a lot of people always get quite freaked out when they see this card. And I mean, I guess it is, when you look at the imagery, it's two individuals and they're tied down to these kind of overindulgent or material or lustful things. You can also see that the chains on the images, they're loosely attached. They have a choice to walk away from the forbidden fruit or whatever the devil is presenting as something that's, something that they should be indulging in. But when we look at it in a reversed form, it actually symbolizes enlightenment. It symbolizes detachment from the physical world. It symbolizes a sense of recovery and release. So this is already so beautiful. This message is already so beautiful because these are some of the most difficult energies to deal with, and already they're in reverse, meaning that for the collective and the light workers that are watching this today, your burdens are being lifted. You are coming into a space, a new level of awakening. I think many of you are coming into a new state of being where you are so incredibly conscious about the physical world and how you detach from that. You choose the light. You don't choose to be chained to material things or things that have no deeper meaning. So this message of enlightenment is truly beautiful. Now let's have a look at some of the archetypal themes that some of you might be facing. So when I speak about my experience about being a light worker, when we think about some of the traits of a light worker is someone that we really want peace. We really want the peace. But when we are faced with a situation where we know something is unjust or unfair, or it is impacting someone in a really detrimental way, we are also really not afraid to rock the boat. So I think it's difficult in a working environment, because spirit guides, can you please give us some guidance on some of the archetypal themes, some of the archetypes that the light workers are currently dealing with, and the guidance that you would like everybody to have. So in a work environment, you're dealing with a lot of different people who are on different parts of their journey. This card, yeah. It's the second time I'm recording this section, and it's the third time this card falls out. So what I wanted to say is that when we're working in a work environment, we're dealing with so many different people who are on such a different point in their personal journey. I won't even talk about spiritual journey. We'll just talk about personal journey, because in the workplace is not really where the spirituality discussion always comes through. So let's keep it very surface level for now. But when we look at people who are on a different part of their personal journey, we also tend to notice where people have not spent much time, you know, working on themselves, where people are not very self-aware. And, you know, if you are not self-aware, if you are not aware of yourself, there is no way that you can be aware of others. That is the, you know, the first step of awareness is self-awareness. You cannot be aware of others if you are not aware of yourself. So I feel that for some of you, these cards are going a little wild, but I feel for some of you, you're potentially dealing with a lot of kind of engagements and activities that are calling for your light work within the workplace. So let's have a quick look at these 3 archetypes. So the first archetype that we have here is gossip. So from a shadow attribute perspective, you know, and I believe that, you know, a lot of these archetypes, all of us as human beings inhibit. It is up to us whether we actually choose to exercise those archetypes. So when we look at it from a light attribute perspective, it speaks about awakens considerations for the feelings of others and honoring trust. And this is exactly what a light worker does. I was just speaking about when you're in a space and you see something that's being unjust, you being that person that's coming in to rock the boat to make sure that, you know what, hey, this is not okay. This person also needs to be happy when they're at the office, or they shouldn't feel excluded. They shouldn't feel excluded because they're different, or excluded because they're new, or excluded because someone actually has had an issue with them, or there was, you know, some really bad history. From a shadow attribute perspective, it speaks about thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information and betraying confidence. Now, I can almost guarantee that in a work environment, if you are dealing with something in a work environment where you've had a lot of burdens to carry, and you may have been working with someone that you feel like is the devil themselves. I make jokes, but actually there are some really toxic people out there. I can almost guarantee that if you do get that energy just from someone that likes to, you know, have control and it likes to indulge perhaps in the material things, perhaps that's how some of you, you know, perhaps some of you are dealing with someone like that, where you can see all of these qualities, well, I don't want to say qualities, characteristics in this person, see what drives them, see how they speak about others, and see how they also betray the trust of others. This is where, as a light worker, you come in, and you know, I've caught myself many times. Look, I don't apologize for being straightforward, but I've had to learn to become really diplomatic in the way that I deliver my messages. But I really can't stand gossip. I really don't like gossiping. I just, when you see a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, and all of a sudden, you know, they want to talk about someone and have a little bit of a complaining session about this, you know, I always find myself being the person that's trying to stand up for that person because they're not there to speak for themselves. Or I'm actually just at a point where, like, okay, well, you know, let's leave that there and let's move on to the next topic. I personally really struggle with gossip, and I think that anyone that is a light worker, you know, where you've taken on the journey of coming into this human experience, sharing the light and the love with those around you, dealing with incredibly difficult situations and people, to make sure that the light work is being done and believed in. I think that a lot of you would feel the same when you are in an environment where people are gossiping. The next one that we have is Liberator, and isn't this so lovely for a light worker? I mean, it just follows the theme of what I was just talking about, because this theme of standing up for others in the workplace is coming through very strongly for me. There's many things I could speak to, but I think especially as things get really stressful this time of the year, you know, so whether you are in a new job, whether it's a job you've had for many years, whether you are retired and you're trying to figure out what to do next, or you're in a social club or in some form of community where there's some area of skill or learning, I feel that this is essentially where there will always be the opportunities for this to happen for those who like to gossip. But also this is the environment where you liberate others. So the light attributes of the liberator is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. And this is exactly what light workers are doing. Light workers are again here to gently shine love's light onto these difficult situations, onto situations where people are having to deal with toxic or heavy or dark energies and difficult things, and you're helping those to trust in change, to trust in the light, to liberate them, to trust in themselves. So you can even see in the image over here that they are passing the torch. They are passing the torch with a smile on their face, saying, "Here is the light. See this light. Let this light shine the way for you down the path ahead. But trust in the light. Trust that this light and what it brings is new, beautiful, amazing things." Beautiful beings, beautiful light workers. I have so much love for this quality. And I believe that as light workers, this is exactly what we are here to do. We are here to pass that light to someone and say, trust in this. From a shadow attribute perspective, it says imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. And that might be something to just think about, because also from a light worker perspective, we're always trying to help liberate others. We're always trying to help take them out of these difficult situations, to get them away from this energy. But there might be some real constraints with some of the things that we might want people to do, or steps that we want them to take. I feel that potentially a lot of you also kind of would see yourselves as a way in which you could coach people through difficult situations. And just remember that, you know, ignoring legitimate constraints around someone's situation could potentially be an oversight that we don't think about, because we so badly want to give them the light and have them believe in the positive. The next one that we have is child wounded. So some of you might even be working in, or considering working in, something to do with kind of something to do to help empower kids or keep kids safe. So the light attributes here is awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. And the shadow attribute is blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So some of you might also be dealing with some of your own childhood wounds. Again, when we talk about being a light worker and providing healing to others, it is so important to remember that self-care and healing of self is needed before we can heal others. So it's really important to take the time, and this is what I see from this card. Perhaps some of you are working with children. You see in this image, the figure is protecting the children, bringing them closer together, giving them love, creating a safe space. And maybe that is something that you as a light worker are doing for others. You're creating a safe space for them to feel liberated. But I think that this is just a reminder from Spirit to work on your own wounds. Because really, when you work on your own wounds, that's truly where the healing occurs, and that's where we can provide love for others. Finally, next up, I'm just going to get spirit animal messages. So also I have been seeing many spirit animal messages come to me in the last couple of weeks. I've just been having the most amazing encounters with ladybugs, butterflies, beetles. In fact, it was just a few weeks ago, I had a peregrine falcon land in the courtyard. It's kind of like a little secret garden in the back, and it was just the most amazing thing. So let's see, spirit guides, what if there is a spirit animal spirit animal guide message for the collective today. So let's see, spirit guides, please could you give us some guidance for the collective? Wow, really two kind of strong animal spirit guide energy. So the first card that we have here is unicorn, and it says indulge your creative, imaginative and magical side through some form of artistic expression. I love this card. I really love seeing this card. Firstly, it's really pretty and colorful, and I think as light workers we tend to see the rainbow in the dewdrops after the rain. We tend to look for that, and Spirit is really guiding us to follow our creative pursuits. In fact, this channel, after doing readings for many years and developing my own sense of intuition, building out my own spreads that I felt really resonated, really coming out in my own creative passions, and believing that as a light worker, this is part of my mission to help others. This card coming out was always one of the most exciting, because it was just confirming that it is truly through that creative energy that we have where spirit flows through us genuinely, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing these. That's why I'm doing this now, to share my messages with everybody else around me. So I hope that they're resonating with you. Whatever does, please take that, and whatever doesn't, just leave that behind. So the next card, really powerful energy. You're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you are capable of doing so. So this is really powerful energy, and that's a really powerful message, especially for light workers. You're being called upon to become a leader in the environment that you're in. You're moving out of this heavy energy. Either you are, or you're helping others move away from this. You're helping others lift that burden. You're helping others stay away from anything that does not serve their own good or the higher good of those around them. And so I really feel that Spirit is calling on you to take leadership in that space. Try to find creative ways in which you can connect with others and help liberate them. When you're looking at these themes, again, follow your own sense of intuition, follow the guidance that's been provided to you in your unique situation. All of us are on a very different journey, trying to help different situations in different ways, whether it's helping someone to study so that they can pass an exam and hopefully get a job, which will change the trajectory of their family's future, or whether it's literally something as straightforward as standing up for someone who's not there when they are spoken about. No matter how big or small all of these actions are, beautiful beings, beautiful light workers, you're doing the work, you're sharing the light, and Spirit really wants you to know that you are absolutely capable of doing so. I'm going to do a quick angel message, and then the final card will be the actual light worker oracle, and so I will read out of the guidebook from that. So the card that we have here is generosity. Generosity is a quality of Spirit. It is rejoicing in the good fortune of others, even when you have nothing to celebrate yourself. It is an attitude of mind, which means that you are happy to give without expecting in return. Drawing this card invites you to be generous-hearted and indicates that you are ready to aspire to this noble quality. Angel wisdom suggests that you give of yourself freely, openly, and lovingly. The rewards for generosity are great, for all that you give from an open heart is returned to you multiplied. And the affirmation there is, I am generous hearted. Light workers, I cannot tell you how special this message really is. Through my most difficult times, through going through a series of tower moments, through having massive realizations around my own life and the connections I had in my life, the type of energy that certain things were taking and draining out of me, going through all of these really difficult things. I know that it's so hard sometimes to believe in the magic. It's so hard sometimes to, it's just, when things just seem like they're never going your way, you're keeping on this battle, and you're trying to keep momentum, you're trying to move forward. When will something come through? It's so easy to fall in that trap. It's so easy to fall in a trap. And you know what? This is such an important message, because you have that leadership inside of you, and in fact you have been liberating others. It's also important to liberate yourself. Do that through creative pursuits, but remember to believe in magic. You are a unicorn. You are the unicorn in other people's lives. So remember in your own magic, but remember in magic, remember that the universe gives back to you tenfold. I think it said, no, it said multiplied, but everybody knows the law of karma. So it's not something that can be quantified. It is doing good and living in a good way for your own highest good and the highest good of others. That is what comes back to you and is multiplied. So with your generous heart, beautiful souls, open your mind to everything that makes you happy, everything that you're grateful for. Remember to say positive affirmations for yourselves, because doing light work, it's difficult. You're taking on the energy of others and their situations, while you're trying to protect your own energy and also trying to maintain your own sense of spiritual growth and spiritual balance. So open your heart. Remember to protect your heart, but open your heart. Be generous with your time, your energy, your love. I've had, in my most difficult times, so much generosity, whether it's time, support, messages, material world support. I would have never have imagined. I would never have imagined. God, the universe, spirit, source, however you identify, is always there to bring blessings. And it is when we have a heart that is open and full of love and generous to give of ourselves, is when we really can receive. Remember that in the law of energy, when we think about, I'm getting very much kind of Six of Pentacles energy, yeah, but when we think about the energy of the exchange of energy, you can give, but you also have to receive. Okay, so now for the final card. So for the final card, I'll be doing a Lightworker Oracle card. I will be reading the message from the guidebook as well. So let's ask Spirit what we need to know. So Spirit, can you please guide? There you go. Wow. Okay, so love this energy. This is the energy of the second ray of wisdom. Such a beautiful card. As you can see, this person is standing there holding the light in their hands, looking up and trusting in the power of their own light, trusting that they are protected, that they are never alone. we are never alone, as alone as we may feel at times. You know, because Lightworkers also identify, sometimes you could identify as the black sheep in your family. Sometimes you could just identify as someone that shouldn't be here on earth. Um, you might find yourself staring out into the stars and feeling like there's a sense of belonging there. I know that's something that resonated with me. So this is a really beautiful energy. I'm just going to go through to the message that comes with it in the guidebook. So the second ray of wisdom. The second ray of wisdom is a consciousness of loving wisdom straight from the heart of the universe. It amplifies the magnetic power of attraction, empowering you to pull into your life all that is needed for your life's work. It brings the opportunity to heal, restore, and understand through the power of love and the light of ancient wisdom. The spiritual master, known as the Buddha, is with you now to help you fully receive and integrate the blessing of this ray of light from the universe. The second ray of wisdom is the energy of the open and loving heart of the universe. It is inclusive, drawing all things toward it with an invisible magnetism. And I'm really getting this also with the unicorn energy. Remember that you're a unicorn. There is no one else like you. You possess all of your internal magic within you. There is no one else like you. It is gifted to you at this time, this invisible magnetism, to help you attract into your life the people, opportunities, and teachings that will help you succeed in your life mission. This ray will help you focus your consciousness in your heart. It will bring to consciousness any unresolved matters of the heart for healing. This includes not only issues of relationship, but also any issues around trusting your heart to lead you. This ray will help heal your heart in an affirming and nurturing way. The challenge with this ray, given that it is so magnetic and attractive, is learning to discern and say no when you need to. Imagine a fisherman who casts a very wide net and catches most of the ocean in it. Not everything is useful or desired by the fisherman. While some things are gratefully accepted by the fisherman, other things are best returned to the ocean where they belong. Again, getting that sense of leadership. Take ownership of your life. Take leadership within your life. Know what's going to serve you well. Know what you need to move away from, and focus on that. Being able to trust in future abundance is important. You will not need to hold on to every opportunity, person, or situation out of fear of loss or lack. Instead, you are learning to live in true abundance and flow. Remember that energy of believing in the magic and believing that miracles will happen for you. Practice feeling comfortable in letting go as well as receiving. Didn't we just talk about that Six of Pentacles energy, where the exchange of energy means that you can't just give. You have to receive also. Trust that the universe has all that you want and need in unlimited supply. The universe will truly provide for you, a dear child of light. This is a very different way of thinking to how most humans are conditioned from an early age. Didn't we speak about archaic ways of thinking? And that's really, as light workers, we are there to help liberate others out of that way of thinking. It's never too late to change one's mind and open one's heart to a more loving, abundant, and enjoyable way to live. When the Buddha comes into your world, he brings the gift of wisdom. That includes openness to all that is without judgment. This might be the struggle that will eventually be revealed as a blessing in disguise. It might be the challenge that causes you to grow into readiness for the next phase of your divine life mission. Finally, as the second ray of wisdom relates particularly to teachers and education, you are encouraged to trust that you have a message to share that is helpful and educational for others. You know, I also... Maybe some of you are thinking of going into some form of teaching or education, something to do with kids. It doesn't even have to be with kids. It's just about a growing mind. The energy is so strong about you sharing your message, Lightworkers. And this is what this card is telling you. Whether your involvement in education and teaching is formal or less obvious, you are encouraged to honor the energy of the teacher in your life. In some way, your sole purpose likely involves helping others to learn through wisdom and love. Isn't that just a beautiful message to close things off? As light workers, this card really speaks so well to what we're meant to be doing here. And that is to gently shine love's light into difficult situations, to be the light in a space where there is darkness or heaviness, where there is burden, where there is turmoil, where there is chaos. It's for us to be the light, to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves, to liberate those who don't know how to liberate themselves, to also liberate ourselves in situations and say that we choose to be the light. We will help heal the wounds of others, that we will be the leader in sharing the light out there, and to really truly know that we are magic, we are light, we are unique in our own individual ways, and it is through that we are able to share the light with others. We do this with a generous heart. We believe that Spirit has got us. We believe that in the second ray of wisdom, we're able to feel, embody, and share this beautiful light. So I hope that this reading resonated with you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do like and subscribe if it did resonate. It means a lot to me to know that it did resonate. Please do share any comments that you have. Perhaps you're dealing with some of the challenges that I've mentioned in your own space, or in your workspace, or with family, or with any type of connections. But I wish you all the best, light workers. What you're doing out there is incredibly important, and we need to keep pushing through, and stay in your magic. Stay in your magic as you rise through everything that tries to bring you down. So love and light, and all the best.